right? Because you're going to have things that we're going to give you as tasks, right? Eric said it. Things to do. How many of you are interested in some bonus content? Like instead of listening to YouTube and a podcast that has something to do with something else, but actually listening to some of our leaders and conversations that are relevant to your business. How many of you are interested in having access to that type of bonus content where we give you access to conversations with people and you can listen and you can learn and re-listen again and all of that? Okay, good. So this is part of the mastermind, is being able to give this to you. So when you're going to get your information of where the login is and the landing page. There's going to be also all of the training from this is going to be there, so you can watch it again or watch a section again that you want to replay again. And we'll start to put some bonus content up there. So this becomes your YouTube channel. Okay, this becomes your place to go and get all the information and access to the things that are going to make a difference for you. Okay, so that's part of the benefit of this. So why don't we do that then? We have two things that we're going to put up in bonus. We'll do it sequentially. One is going to be the Dan and Claire audio of the interview about how they built their business system. Okay, not what their business system is per se, but how they went about and what went into building it. And then we've got Radhika, who does 2 sections, and this was a mastermind that she did, okay? 2 videos. How long are they each going to be? They're about 45 minutes, half an hour each only? Yeah, 40 minutes each. So we're going to put that up there at the right time. We don't want to overload you with stuff, but we'll make sure that you have access to that. So over the next few months, we are going to be talking about business flow. We are going to be talking about DMO, and you are going to be going through the work of working on your own flow and seeing what's missing to be able to implement it, to be able to create an optimized flow for yourselves. Okay? Does that sound good? You guys like that idea? Very good. All right. So before we end up for lunch, Eric has a challenge for you. Eric has something that's been working very well with the people that he works with, all of the leaders, and he's going to teach you about something he calls a travel challenge. And so let's give it up for Eric Waring.
Here we go. Here we go.
Check, 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 check. There, I'm back on. All right. So, as Stefan said, before we go to lunch, I'm going to take the next 30 minutes here, okay? And I'm going to share with you the one strategy that is creating the biggest results in the world, okay? I work with the top earners from around the world, lots of different organizations, at very high level coaching. And there's one particular thing that in literally the last 6 months has become the highest leverage opportunity for people to create big growth in their business. Fresh excitement, fresh vision, more action, taking people who are not very productive and getting them productive again. And so I want to share that with you. You have the conversation challenge. This afternoon we're going to talk to you about how do you create that and build a system around it. So don't just do it once, but it happens consistently through your organization. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Premier League and how you can build that into a system. So everybody, it's not just when there's a deadline, but you create deadlines within your organization. You create recognition programs around Premier League for your team. So you have more consistency around Premier League qualification. This one is unique. And you might have to challenge some of your own limiting beliefs in order to be able to accept this. But I promise you, it's real, okay? I have a belief system. How many of you are full-time Herbalife? Full-time. Okay, almost all of you, if not all of you. So, some of you have nutrition clubs, some of you have different DMOs, that's fine. Whatever the DMO is, one thing we lost through the pandemic was connection with other people face to face. We became a culture of connecting on FaceTime or connecting on Zoom or connecting virtually, connecting with technology, and way less HOMs, way less meetings in the home, way less connecting with our teams in different markets. So this strategy I'm going to lay out to you is a way to fix that and will create big, big, big results. And that is this: to commit to traveling to spend time with your team. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is, what does travel mean? Here's the definition I would give you. At least a 3-hour drive or a flight. If it's closer than 3 hours, I wouldn't count that as one of the destinations. So this accomplishes a couple things. First, it's going to cause you to think about business outside of your home city. It's going to cause you to think about your team that's not very close to you. And if you don't have any, then you need to start developing some. You need to think about, if you don't have a business in other countries, when you could build a business in other countries, you should. You haven't done this right. If at least 5 years from today, more than half of your business should come from volume outside of your home country. In the next 5 years, at least half, more than half, should come from outside of your home country. People independently building. Okay? So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you're full-time, once a month, visit a person or a team that's at least a 3-hour drive or a flight away from you. Once a month. Okay? Every single person in this room, every part-time person on your team, full-time person on your team, every single one, once a month. And let me give you a structure of how to do this, because you might be going, wait a minute, I got to run my club, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. This doesn't even make sense. Trust me. Trust me. Let me give you a structure for this. On day one morning, you travel. Day 2 evening, you travel back. So you're spending one night away from your family. One night per month. Okay? And in between day 1 morning and day 2 evening, you are totally focused doing income producing activity. You are meeting with people, you're talking with them, you're sharing your vision, you're visiting their club, you're talking to their team, you're having lunch, you're having coffee. You're meeting with people, you're helping them put their game plan together. You're sharing your belief, you're giving them some training. So all you need to go somewhere is someone who is willing, coachable, and hungry. And you tell them their job is to keep you busy from the moment you land in their market to the moment you leave. Keep you busy. Meet with as many prospects as you can meet with. Meet with as many team members as you can meet with. Talk to as many people as you can talk to. Visit as many clubs. Go work out with them. Have breakfast with them, lunch with them, dinner with them. So if you're going into their market, they need to commit to being with you the whole time. They're willing, coachable, and hungry. They've taken time off of work. They're going to focus with you. Okay? And if you don't have a big budget, that's fine. Some of you can stay with your team members. You can stay in an extra room in their home. Or you can get a hotel, get an inexpensive hotel. These short flights, they're not very expensive. This will cost you a little bit of money. The return on your investment is massive. Massive. Think about the last time you've done this. When was the last time you've done this? Every month. It's been a while for some of you because you're counting on Zoom, you're counting on FaceTime, you're counting on whatever technology. Nothing changes a relationship like proximity, like being with another person, like looking them in the eye and saying, I believe in you. You can do this. We could do it together. Let me give you some tips on how you can improve your club. Let me give you some tips on how you get your customers more engaged with the products. Let me give you some ideas. Let me give you some strategies. Let's do a conversation challenge together. You know, the night of day one, let's get everybody from your team over to your house and we'll do a conversation challenge together. And you just have everybody do it while you're doing it with them. You put up on the walls who has the most conversations over the course of that evening, right? You do a little training. Here's why we're doing this. Here's how to follow up. Here's what's important. Here's the next step. Here's the flows that are working. Here's the DMOs that we're doing in the market. But you're just spending this time from the time you land to the time you take off, meeting, talk. And you're like, well, I only have one person. Fine, go sit with that one person for a day and a half. And just pour your belief into that person, okay? Now, before you say, I can't do that, I promise you every one of you can. It's just a decision. It's not about your finances, it's not about the budget, because this will pay for itself, okay? Do it on a budget, drive if you have to. But now I want you to think. There's 500 people in this room. I don't know how many people are connected now on day 2. 2,000 people. I want you to think about 2,000 people who all say, you know what? I'm in. I'm going to be one of the Herbalife travelers for the APAC market. So they agreed to do that. I want you to think about this now. Just 2 days a month times 2,000 people. 4,000 days being spent pouring into another team, another person in another city, strengthening their belief, causing them to take more action. Here's what you're going to do. As soon as if you have somebody you're going to go visit in the first week of February, you schedule it this weekend. Say, I'm coming to your market. Will you spend the time with me? Are you willing, coachable, hungry? Yes? All right, I'm coming. The moment you tell them you're coming, they change. They start producing when they weren't going to produce. They start getting excited when they weren't excited. They start talking to more people instead of talking to less people. They immediately change just because you booked the time you're coming in, because they want to show you something. Right? And when you leave, they've been changed by your interaction. So 4,000, here's what I will tell you, 4,000, every one of you can do this. And here's my belief. If you develop this into a habit, that every single month, you're going at least 2 days. That should be the minimum. If you're full-time, should be the minimum, forever. And you can do this for forever, and it will not get in the way of your lifestyle. It won't get in the way of your family. One night, it's not going to get in the way of your family. You can let them know in plenty of time in advance. You can do it when it works with your schedule, works with somebody else's schedule. Your family will get used to it, I promise. Now, when I built in the field, here's my belief. If you're a 6-figure earner and you want to grow, you know how many days I think you should be traveling? 8 days a month. If you're a 6-figure earner and you want to grow. 8 days a month. And that's only 4 nights away from your family. It's only 4 nights. You go to 4 different markets, 4 different leaders. You fly out the morning of day 1, you fly back or the evening of day 2, or drive. And in between, you're action. It's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit them. You can do 8 days a month, which is 96 days a year, and still have an amazing lifestyle with your family. Your kids will not resent it. Your spouse will not resent it. It's very focused. It's super efficient. You are more productive in their market than you are in your own home market. Way more productive. Yes? Some of you are like, yeah, whatever. You can do 8 days a month forever. Forever. And not have it get in the way of your lifestyle, not have it burn you out, not have you depressed or like not looking forward to it. It's going to fill you up. It's going to help you as much as it helps them. So 8 days, I think if you go more than 8 days, if you go more than 96 days a year, then you start to have some resentment in the family, in my opinion. Because I took it to like 12 days for a season. 12 days, it was too much. 12 days was too much. My family started to get mad. I backed it down to 8. Family had no problem. And just ask these corporate guys, how many days a month do you travel, Rob? Half? At least half. 15. How about you, Stefan? 50%? As a distributor. Yeah, as corporate, it's probably more. Yeah, but at least 50% as a distributor. Now, here's the mistake top leaders make. They're the only ones that travel. And they don't build this into a system, and they don't build a traveler program inside of their team. And it's the meanest thing. They like, I'll just take it. I'll just do all the stuff. I'll do all the sacrifice because my team's not ready. No, you have to plant the vision for your team. So here's what I want you to commit to. If somebody's full-time, let them know. When you're ready to go full-time, I'm going to show you how to grow your team. 2 days a month minimum. 8 days a month is the goal. Okay? 2 days a month minimum. 8 days a month is the goal. So from 2 to 8. So I want you to be thinking right now, how many days can you commit to? How many nights can you commit to being away from your family to grow your business? Not attending extravaganzas, not coming to masterminds, to grow your business, working with your team. How many nights away from your family are you willing to commit in order to be able to grow that? If it's 4, all right, then you can get 8 days out of that. 3, 6 days. 2, 4 days. 1 night, 2 days. So let me ask you the hard question. How many of you will be willing to trust me and at least test this? And all I would ask you to do is test it for 90 days. Take February, March, April, and do it for at least 90 days. How many people would be willing to do that? Yes? How many people will do that? Okay, so it starts in February. It starts in February. Okay? You decide how many days you want to do, but I want you to measure this because I'll give you an example. I have a guy that I work with. He lives in Switzerland. He has 400 people making 6 figures a year on his team. Right now, he started this 3 months ago. 300 of the 400, 300 are doing 8 days a month. He just started because before this, it was like 5 or 6 people on his team were traveling. Nobody else was. Him and 4 or 5 others. But now he has 75% of his 6-figure earners are doing 8 days a month. So take 300 times 8. How much is that? 2,400? So it's 2,400 days a month that those people are out in different markets. He has had an explosion of growth on his team that everybody's like, I forgot. I forgot what it felt like to go visit. I forgot what it felt like to go have dinner with somebody that wasn't at an extravaganza. I forgot that if I go into their home and I meet their family and I see their kids, it changes the relationship. I forgot how much I could pour my belief into another team member. Or I can go into their club and I can help them improve 3 or 4 different things, and now their club is more productive. I forgot how much I could help them get their prospects to make a decision and join. I forgot how good it was for me to go train my team instead of having somebody else train my team all the time. Okay? So this simple little strategy, it sounds simple, but you're going to have to commit to it. And if I was you, and we're going to talk this afternoon about how you systemize this, how you get it really locked down, but think about what you can do in order to recruit your team to do this. And if they say yes, how can you recognize them for making this commitment? How can you give them ideas of what to do while they're in the market with the team that they're traveling to? Can you give them strategies and ideas? Can you plan, do review, and all work together? What's working, what's not working, what's getting the most results? Can you do some special training just for that team that's traveling? Okay, which will encourage other people to get into that team to be part of the club? Can you recognize people who are doing 4 days a little bit higher than people who are doing 2 days? Can you recognize people doing 8 days a little higher than people doing 6 or doing 4? How can you encourage this behavior? Because I'm talking to the top leaders here. You systemize this. I don't want to give you something that's a guarantee, but I would be shocked if your organization doesn't grow at least 20% in 90 days. As a big team, 20% in 90 days. Watch what happens if you do this. So could you create a list of all the cities were being visited? Could you create a list of all the locations that your team was going out to? So if they did like an opportunity meeting while they were there, they did a training while there, other people could plug into those trainings? Yeah, please. This is strong, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Just to reinforce a little bit of this idea. If you think about your income and what you earn from Herbalife, for most of you, 80-90% of what you earn today, it comes from the first 6 months, 1 year that you worked in Herbalife.
Yeah.
If we actually did the exercise and we asked you where your money's coming from, it's coming mostly from what you did in the beginning. And what Eric's talking about, it's the kind of thing you would do in the beginning. You would go to your people, you would spend time with them, you would have them organize people so that you could have more exposure to people. You'd be spending quality time with them. You'd go to dinner after the meeting and you'd talk and you'd plan and vision and future and what you were going to build together. Part of the issue is that over time, you're still making the same money, the 80%, 90%, it's still coming from those same people, but the quality of the relationships and what you put into the new people that come in is not the same anymore. You put them onto the Zoom training, you ask them to come to the events, but you don't create the same relationship that you created, which created all of the money that you're making today.
Yes.
And so this is a way for you to get back to, right? Creating relationships with people, bringing the vision to them. And when you do this, when you commit to it, what happens is you learn that I'm not going to travel unless it's worth it.
They're willing, coachable, and hungry, yeah.
So you're going to say, let's make sure you have people. If I'm coming, we're going to do personal time. We're going to meet some of your top people, but you need to organize a meeting. So they learn the skill of organizing a meeting.
Maybe you work out, you have a group workout together.
Before, they're just joining the Zoom, or they're driving to the meeting that you have, but they're not organizing the meeting. They're not taking responsibility. They're not in a building. It's not the same aspect. So this is really important because it's more in the behavior and how it impacts the business and how you build relationships and how you share the vision. And sometimes by you just doing it, you tell also the person that they're important. They believe in me because they're going to come to me and they're going to spend time with me and they're going to talk to my people. And this is my opportunity to really take advantage because it's very special to have this leader coming to me. So they value you more, you're showing that you value them, you're getting them to do more than they would have done because it's concentrated, and they're going to want to get the most because you're coming all the way there, and you're going to want to get the most because you're going all the way there, and you're spending quality time together.
And you can plan to review to get better and better and better and better as you go. First time's going to be the weakest, and it's going to get stronger every single time you go somewhere. You're going to learn from each experience. So don't judge each one too harshly. You know, oh, I could have done this better, or I wasn't really efficient, or they weren't prepared, or I wasn't prepared. You'll learn as you go to get better and better. But here's what I would tell you. I watched a training from Jim Rohn and from Mark Hughes probably 3 months ago. And this is way back. And Jim was talking about the challenge that Mark gave to all the President's Club. And what Mark Hughes gave to the President's Club is, please get on the road. We have to go spread the word. We have to go grow this company. We have to go open up new markets. And I need you as leaders to go out there and go do it. And Jim was talking about how proud he was that the President's team answered the call. And they said, okay, boss, I see the vision. I'm ready to go. And you did. Some of you were part of that made that happen. And I will tell you, for Herbalife to go to where it needs to go, to 20 billion and beyond, we need to do it again. You need to do it again. What you did before, do it again. You can grow by 10 or 20% in 90 days. You can grow by 100%. 100%. I want you to think about what that does for your team. Some of you with large organizations. 100% in 12 months if you get all of your full-time people just doing 2 days a month, which every single person can do. You can reward that behavior. What would 100% growth do for your market? This market, APAC, can lead the world. This is the first time we're having this conversation. We haven't had this conversation with North America. We haven't had it with any other organization. And all of you, in addition to what it's going to do for your team, think about how you can build a business that is strong in multiple countries, right? You can start thinking about, you can ask your team, let's say you don't have anybody in Japan. You can start asking your team, who do you know in Japan? Who do you know in Japan? Until you get enough people to go travel there and start to build Japan. You know how big of an opportunity Japan is? It's so huge. And all of you can reach it with some networking and some travel, right? But it's going to take the travel. You can't do it over a phone call. You want to build in Japan? Guess what the people in Japan need? Face to face. Do I trust you? Do I believe you? Do I like you? You know, can I count on you? Am I going to get support from you? That's what they're going to need to see from you, right? So this can change everything. This simple little thing can change everything. But those of you who've done it before, I'm just going to ask you, for the sake of your team, do it again. Do it again. I know you've done it before. I know you've paid the price. I know you've traveled. But if you do it again, you will cause everybody in your team to see a bigger vision, and they will do it with you. Okay? And whoever gets the highest percentage of their full-time people doing this is going to win, whether they qualified to be in this room or not. Okay? Whoever gets the highest percentage of full-time people to do this is going to win. So really lean on this, because this, you take conversations, great. Take Premier League, great. This is super fuel. This just takes this and blows everything up super fast. I mean, it makes everything bigger really, really fast. So it's going to thicken up your organization. So I'm excited for you.
And then what's great about this is if you go back to the beginning conversation, small business owner, entrepreneur, what does it sound more like? It sounds more like entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're taking the risk. You're going to a new market, creating a new business. You understand? You're doing things. So this, which is most of you when you started, that's the way that you approach things. You were willing to get in the car and drive a couple of hours to present to some prospect something. Okay, but over time, even though you make more money today, you keep the money and you don't reinvest the money. That's also, we haven't talked about that, but that's also a very important thing, is if you want to continue and scale and grow, you have to reinvest back into your business. Some of you are making more money today than you've ever made before. Before, you used to invest everything. When you were a Get team, everything went back into the business. You became a millionaire team, everything went back into the business. You became a president team, now you buy the new car. you don't invest the percentage back into the business. You understand? So this is, again, entrepreneurs investing in building of the business. So how did you guys like the morning? Yeah, very good. Very good. So we're going to take a 45-minute break. Then we're going to come back in the afternoon. We've got a lot of great content for you in the afternoon. So everybody look at your watches. It's now 2 p.m. here. We're going to be back in the room in 45 minutes, and whatever time it is for wherever you are for the group. Where's our connected group here? Let's put them in so we can see them. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there. We'll see everybody in 45 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, Herbalife Asia Pacific. Please welcome back Eric Worre.
Okay. We gotta go to work. We have to go to work. Come on. All the people in the other 13 countries are going, come on, let's go to work. How was lunch? Good? Good. Okay. I want to talk to you about systems. You ready to talk about systems? Every business is a collection of systems. So let me give you something for your notes. You know you have a system when everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. Everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. Okay? When a person looks at the system, what you want them to think is, this looks simple, I think it'll work, and I think I could do it. So it helps with duplication. If you have a system, you have a better chance for duplication. Okay? If it's not written down, you do not have a system. If it's not written down, you do not have a system. My strong suggestion is every system should be able to fit on one piece of paper. The hardest thing in the world is to simplify your systems. Simplification causes more duplication. That makes sense. What you're looking for in your systems is something that is skill-proof and fear-proof. Okay, so what I mean by that is you don't have to have skill to do it. And you don't have to have courage to do it. You just follow the system. You get the results. So I want to give you an example. I'm going to do something that will illustrate a point for you. And I'm going to need somebody to help me with translation. Who can help me with translation? Can you? Who can do a translation for me? Can you do it? All right, come over here with me. Do we have a microphone? Come on over. What's your name? John? Yeah. Nice to meet you. This is for you. Oh, here. That's for you. I'm only going to be off stage for 1 second, so I think it should work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's on this piece of paper.
이 종이에 있는 것을 보여줄
I
건데
want you to get it in your mind.
이걸 생각을 잘 하고 계시다가
Don't tell anybody what it is.
아무한테도 말해주지 말고
And then I want you to whisper
네, 이걸
this.
이걸 속삭이세요.
You can read it if you want,
읽어도 돼요.
but I want you to whisper it in her ear.
네, so me?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Okay, I want you to whisper it in her ear.
Whisper or just say.
Just
everything's
whisper.
Okay. Just whisper. Okay.
All right, quietly. I want you to just say this one sentence
In a one sentence.
into her ear.
Okay.
Okay? Now, your assignment
제가 이제 제가 이분한테 가서 말을 할 거고 이제 이분의 임무는
He's going to whisper it in your ear,
제가 뭔가를 속삭일 거예요.
and then
속삭이면
you're going to tell it to the next person.
그 다음 사람한테 그걸 또 똑같이 귀에다가 이렇게 속삭이세요.
You only get to share it one time.
딱 한 번만.
So make sure you listen very careful.
잘 들어야 돼요.
One time.
딱 한 번 하니까. 딱 한 번.
And then you send to the next one,
그리고
next,
그 다음
next.
사람,
And we're
다음
going to go across all
해서
of these front tables.
여기서 저 끝까지 할 거예요. 이게 쭉.
Just the front table. Okay? So when you're done, we go to this one. When you're done, go
네.
to the next one. Go around, go to the next one. Go around. We'll go to the next table.
맨 앞에
Okay?
있는 테이블만 할 거고요. 여기 있는 제 1열의 첫 번째 처음부터 끝까지만 할 거예요.
Okay? You ready? All right. So go take this. You can read it, whisper it in her ear, but don't show it, don't give it to her, and don't let her take it. Okay? Go ahead. Huh? Yes, of course. That's what I want you to do. Do it in Korean to her, and then she'll pass it, she'll start it going. Okay, now the game has begun. Dong, thank you very much. Give him a round of applause, please. I'm going to show you the importance of a system. I'm going to show you the importance of documentation, and I will show you what this is when we get to the other side of the room. Now, let me give you, while this is happening, let me give you a way to think about systems, okay? And please take notes in this session, because this will make you a lot of money if you get good at this, okay? Let's take the conversation challenge. If you want to build a system around that, change how you think, okay? And make sure you only get to say it one time over here. You can't say it more than once. Keep it going. So, take the conversation challenge. Here's the trick that I learned in creating systems. Pretend that the only way you get paid in Herbalife is per conversation. That's the only way you get paid. Now, of course, that's not true. The only way you get paid is when a sale happens to a customer, right? But for this exercise, pretend that the only way you get paid is based upon the number of conversations that are happening inside of your team. If that was the case, what would you do to create more conversations? If you got paid $10 for every conversation that happened inside of your team, or $100 for every conversation that happened, and that's all you needed to do to be able to build a system, how would you communicate that system? How would you show them the process? Here's how you find prospects. Here's how you start the conversation. Let's do it together. You lead them by example. Would you recognize people who started conversations? Would you create a recognition program around a system? Of course. Rewards, incentives, prestige for people who do it? Of course. So I'm going to talk about 3 systems in particular, but you can use this for any system. You can use it for getting more people to attend extravaganza. You could use it to create a retention system or a recognition system or a communication system for your team. All the systems you can use it for. But I want to talk about 3. The conversation challenge, Premier League, and Traveler. Those 3 things. And you can apply it to anything else later. But conversation, Premier League, and Traveler. So think about, 1, can you document the system and put it on paper? Even if it's imperfect. You can start with, here's some recommendations in order to be able to start more conversations. Or here's our recommended path in order to be able to get to Premier League. How are people mostly getting to Premier League? How are they qualifying? What are they doing? You can interview everybody that's gotten to Premier League on your team and find out what they were doing that worked. Can you put that on a piece of paper? Yes, you could. We're halfway across. Okay, so keep going, pass it around. It's probably a monstrosity by now, just so you know. So, one, can you document it? Can you document it? I want you to think about the steps of building a system. One, can you document it? Two, can you simplify it? Is it maybe too complicated and it's confusing people? Can you simplify it? Make it easier. Make it more basic. Three, how can you reward the behavior? How can you reward people who are doing it? How can you give some prestige to people who are doing it? How can you give some recognition to people who are doing it? How can you give any bonus or visibility for people who are doing it? See, there's the tools of influence are interesting, because if you want to build an organization that is engaged in the proper behavior, you need to learn to reward the right behavior. And actually, what's the opposite of reward? You need to make it uncomfortable if people don't do the behavior. Think about any culture, any organization in the world. They reward certain behavior, and certain behavior gets punished. If you're outside of the normal, inside of that organization, inside of your job, inside of the company, inside of the government, anywhere. This is the tools of influence, and we're no different. So you need to make sure you're rewarding the right things, and people feel uncomfortable if they're not engaged in those things. So if you want to get more people into the Traveler program, you need to make a list of people who said, yes, I'll do it. And guess who's not on the list? People who didn't do it. And you need to publish that list. As people say, well, that's kind of embarrassing to people who are not doing it. Well, they can do it anytime they want. This is a leadership decision. And I'm just going to tell you, for their sake, you need to encourage the right behavior. So write it, simplify it, reward it. How do you reward it? When you reward it to some people get rewarded, other people are going to feel like they need to step in and do it. You've been doing this already. Certain people that are going to extravaganza versus people who are not. They're just a different group. They're embraced different, they're treated different, they're part of the team. When they don't go to the extravaganzas, they're less connected to the team. Did we get across? Did we make it across? All right. So, Jean, come on up. Yeah. I'm going to have you translate for whoever got it last. And can I get the microphone, please? Come on up. Okay. Who's the last person? Come on. Give her a round of applause. Okay, so what I want you, will you tell him what you heard, and I'll write it down in English.
모든 매출이 70% 성공하지 않으면 성공한 것이 아니다.
The all total overall.
What? Say again.
The overall.
Overall
revenue
revenue
goes by 70% or
goes
less.
by
70% or less.
7%?
70% or less.
70% or less.
We couldn't say it as a success. We couldn't say it as a success.
We couldn't say?
We couldn't say that as a success.
We couldn't say
A success. That a success.
that
success.
is success.
Very different meaning.
Okay, this is not bad actually. The overall revenue goes by 70% or less. We couldn't say that is success. Okay? Here's what started over here. If 5 years from now, 70% of your business is not from outside your country, you missed an opportunity. So, pretty different. Pretty different.
Actually, I said exactly the same in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's what I want you to understand, and thank you for this. Will you give them a round of applause?
Here's your mic.
Thank you. Give it to her. Here's what I want you to understand. If this is a system and you have good intentions, if it starts here, it ends badly. However, if it's written, and I hand it to her, and she reads it, and she tells it to somebody else, and she hands it to the next person, and they hand it to the next person, and they hand it to the next person, it stays the same. We're in a business of duplication. So you understand, well, you're great at communicating. It doesn't matter if you're great at communicating. Things break down between person to person to person to person. Here's why use, where, talk worked. Everybody could remember use, where, talk. If it was 14 steps, it would not have worked. It was 3. Use, where, talk. Use, where, talk. Everybody got it. Everybody knew it. Everybody did it. And it worked. Now, some people stopped doing it. Fine. But the organizations that kept that little system solid on how you can walk and talk, social selling, connecting to people, got bigger results than people who didn't. Okay? So if it's written, it will duplicate. If it's not, it will fall apart. You understand why it's important to write it down? Please understand how important it is to write it down. So now, what I want to go to, and now I will go to the slides, Allison. I'll throw that slide up because it's part of my notes. If 5 years from now, 70% of your organization is not from outside your home country, you missed an opportunity. And I hope what that does for you is it causes you to say, you know what? I'm going to pay attention to this traveler challenge. I'm going to start, even if it's just me, every month, at least 2 days. If I'm serious, more than that. And every full-time person, I'm going to welcome them to the club. Come on in. Let's pick the market that you're going to go to next. You don't have any place to go? Come with me. Come with me. We'll go together to this other market so they can experience it. And then they'll start finding somebody outside of their home market. When they do, they'll be ready to go with them. But if I take somebody and they go with me to go visit my team for 2 days, there's all kinds of benefit. I benefit from connecting with them. They benefit from watching me, right? We both benefit from serving this other group in this market, and they get a vision of, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I have somebody outside of my local market. So even if you have nobody to go with one of your upline leaders when they go. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. I remember I was really struggling. I was 24 years old, and I was struggling. I was trying to figure out how to build a business. My upline had kind of disappeared, and there was one person who was like 20 generations above me who was the number one earner in the company. He was never going to earn anything from my productivity, but I called him up. I got his number. I called him and said, I see you're going. I lived in Minnesota, which is the central part of the United States, and he was going to Michigan, which is about a 12-hour drive away from me. And I was broke. I had no money. And I called him up. His name was Jeff. I said, Jeff, I see you're going to go to Michigan, and you're going to spend 4 or 5 days in Michigan. If I come to Michigan, can I just, carry around your briefcase and watch what you do and just learn from you? Is that okay? He said, yeah, sure, come on over. Now, I have no money, okay? I have no money for a hotel. I have barely enough money to get over there. So I drove over and I slept in my car, and it was as cold as it is here. I slept in my car outside the hotel, turned it on every 2 hours, it would warm up a little bit, turn it back off. turn it back on and warm up a little bit, turn it back off. I go into the hotel lobby to get dressed with my one suit, and I sit in the lobby and I wait for him to come down with a little cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. I was sitting there pretending that I'd gotten out of my room. He never knew I was sleeping in my car the whole time I was there. And we got in the car and I started following and watching him work. It changed my whole life, watching him work. I learned so many things. Let me give you one thing I learned from observation. It was such an interesting thing. He would do these opportunity presentations 3 or 4 times a day. He'd have little groups of 20 or 30. And he would do these little office meetings in homes and all different kinds of places around town. And I watched him do something after every presentation. He'd do the presentation, and then he'd pick somebody out when the presentation was over. He'd say, "Excuse me, can you come here for a second?" He'd grab somebody, and he'd go around the corner. I'm like, what is he doing? So I asked him that. He did that every presentation. He'd grab a different person, he'd bring him around the corner. And I asked him at the evening plan, do a review, right? I'm watching it. I said, what are you saying to them? Because you didn't invite, they weren't your prospect, they were just part of the teams. He said, "Eric, here's what I've learned. If you find one person out of every presentation, you'll be a millionaire. If you find one person out of every presentation and they join your business, you'll be a millionaire." I said, "Okay. What are you saying to these people?" He said, "I'm looking for somebody who's got a fire in their eyes, they're leaning forward, they're taking notes, and I tap them on the shoulder and I say, 'Excuse me, come here,' which is prestigious for them, the person doing the presentation, top earner, pick them out of the crowd. He says, 'Come here,' and he brings them down the hall and he says, 'Listen, I wanted you to get away from everybody else, and I wanted to let you know I do this for a living. And I look for people who are sharp, looking for people who can go all the way to the top. And when I looked at this room, I saw you. So I think you can do this. I think you can go all the way to the top. And are you ready to do it? Because I'll help you. I look for talent. You're a talented person. I'll help you.' And all of them, like, 'I'm in. Let's go.' So you go back in and help them sign up. They got positioned wherever in the structure, right? I said, "How do you know?" He said, "Eric, it doesn't matter." So what do you mean it doesn't matter? He said, "I could pick anyone and do that, and they will join." I said, "No, you can't." He said, "Yeah, watch." He said, "Tomorrow, first presentation, you point out the most negative person in the room, and I'll sponsor them." I said, "Done, deal." And you ever seen a person, this is person sitting in the front row, hasn't taken his jacket off. He's like this. I'm like, that guy. I want you to recruit that guy. It's impossible. He goes, from the front of the room, I get a little, okay. After the presentation, the guy's ready to go. As soon as he said, "Thanks for coming," he's like ready to go. He said, "Excuse me, before you leave, can you come here a second?" He takes him down the hall, and I'm listening. He says, "I see you doing your big tough guy thing. But I know an entrepreneur when I see one. And you're an entrepreneur. I don't care what you're trying to say in front of everybody else, this little act you're putting on. You're a real entrepreneur. And I see it. And you might have been disappointed in your life. You might have had some things that didn't work out in your life. But this is not one of those times. This is a time where things are working out. And you're here for a reason. And I see talent in you." And the guy's like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "No way. How?" He brings him over, signs him up. That ends up being the biggest line in the whole week. A year later, he's at the top of the company. This made that guy. No way. So I will tell you, here's what I will tell you. Here's what I learned from this. You all have a gift. And the gift is seeing something in somebody else and letting them know that they're important, that they're powerful, that they're strong, right? And I learned every time I was in a room to pull somebody aside and let them, give them that gift, right? So this, guess how I learned this? I drove 12 hours to spend 4 days with somebody who was my mentor from a distance. So that's what you can do by bringing a brand new person. You can bring a part-time person with you. Say, come with me. Let's go to this other city. Come with me. Let's go to this other market. Come with me. Let me show you what it's like to build as a full-time person. You see what I'm saying? So, systems again. With all of this, I want you to pretend the only way you get paid is by conversation, per conversation. Or pretend you make $5,000 every time somebody becomes a Premier League member on your team. What would your system look like to get Premier League done? It would look different, wouldn't it? If you got paid $5,000 every time, you need to think that way in order to be able to develop a good system. What if you got paid $10,000 for every person that became a traveler and traveled at least 2 days a month? What would the system be to develop those people? How many people would you take along with you in order to show them what you're doing so they could build the confidence to do it themselves? How many of you would do it by example, even if you don't necessarily need the money, you're doing fine, but you want to be part of the next wave of growth? Of course. I will tell you, most of the things, there were so many things that I was uncomfortable doing myself. I love working with the team, but I did not like recruiting. I never liked recruiting. This is my confession to you. I didn't like it. And the only reason why I did it is because it was necessary in order to be able to get to this. So I learned how to create systems in order to be able to develop that skill and do what was necessary in order to be able to serve somebody else. I had to get out of my own comfort and into somebody else's skin, okay? So pretend the only way you get paid is by these three things happening, and then document it. Document it. Put it on paper. And once you put it on paper, then it starts plan, do, review. Put it on paper, that's your plan. Then do it. Then can you improve it? What worked, what didn't? Everybody on your team travels in the month of February, 2 days. Then have a Zoom. What did we learn? What can we do to do better when we go into March? Then you improve it. All right? Oh, you need to do a little bit more preparation. Great. We'll do some more preparation to prepare for it. Oh, we need to have a little bit more systems. We need to have more tools once we get there. Okay, fantastic. We need to follow up better after the 2-day event. Okay, no problem. And then March, we're going to plan to review again. Document it. April, plan to review again. Document it. Simplify, simplify, simplify. One piece of paper and go. Okay? Most of this is just make a decision. If you make a decision that conversations are important for your business, you can build a system around it. If you agree that Premier League is important for your business, you can build a system around it. And don't make the company do it. Many of you qualified by November because that was the deadline. Don't be a person that is driven only by company deadlines. Be a person that's driven by the system because you built it, not because they gave you a deadline. Don't wait for somebody else to give you some artificial reason. Create it yourself. Give your team a reason. Create recognition around all these things, bonuses around all these things. Access, special training for people who are inside of these groups. Make sense? Okay. So we talked about plan, do, review. And when it comes to obstacles, again, with all of these, use assignments, use challenges, use stories, and use your vision. Your vision needs to be so strong that your obstacles go away. And if somebody else has limiting beliefs, that I can't do it because I don't have kids, or I don't have a babysitter, or I can't do it because I don't have the money, or I can't travel because I don't have any people in these other markets. You're going to get all the excuses in the world. Now's not a good time for me, or I'm just not comfortable doing that. You know, a million excuses. Guess what leader's job is? Help people get past their excuses. Right? And if you don't have anybody to travel to, then come with me. Let's go on a trip together. Let's spend a couple days and let me build you up. Right? And then let me work with you so we can recruit somebody that's at least 3-hour drive away or a short flight away. And once we get that person recruited, I'll go with you to their market. And we'll do it together. And then once we get that going, eventually you'll be going by yourself. And if you only have one other person in another town, then go there once a month for 2 days. Until you get 2 markets, until you get 3 markets, until you get 4 markets. And pretty soon, here's what I will tell you. The chairman here in this room will tell you this is true. I built an organization of about 600,000 people in 63 countries. Okay? And once you get to that level, every time you go to a market, you're a rock star. It's so cool. You land and everybody's excited. They're greeting you at the airport. You know, you're signing autographs and taking selfies, and you go do a training, and it's fun. I'll tell you. And I remember Jim Rohn telling me early on, he said, Eric, if you keep doing the work necessary, you build the systems around your team, you do what you have the vision to be able to do this, you stay consistent, eventually, when you walk in the room, people are going to say, there he is. That's the guy. And that happened for me. I had 18 jobs, minimum wage guy. And I applied myself to systems like this. I applied myself to things I could actually do, even if I couldn't afford it, or even if I didn't have confidence. And eventually I became, when I walked in the room, there he is. That's the guy. And that can happen for you. There she is. That's the lady who faced her fears, who overcame those obstacles, who changed her family's history for forever. There he is. That's the guy. He's the one that built this whole region. There she is. That's the one. The company got to 2025 without her, but then she stepped in and took it to the next level. That's the lady. Eventually, that's going to be real for you. If you don't believe that, borrow my belief, because I'm telling you it's going to happen. All right? All right. So here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break out, whether all the people in different markets, good to see you all. I want you to break into your breakout groups, and we're going to give you 45 minutes. Okay? And in 45 minutes, I want you to discuss, and you might not have the full answers, but I want you to discuss your initial thoughts of how are you going to systemize conversations, how are you going to systemize Premier League, and how are you going to systemize the Traveler Program? Those 3 things, conversations, Premier League, and Traveler. Okay? So we're giving you some extra time. What's the process you're going to use? How are you going to track it? How are you going to document it? And I just want you to share ideas. It's probably not going to be fully formed, but with everybody sharing, it'll help you strengthen your system of what you're going to do when you leave here. Okay? So put 45 minutes on the clock. Everybody break into those groups and really dive in. Share with each other and build a great plan, a great initial system to start to plan, do, review. All right? 45 minutes. Go. Okay, everybody, time's up. Time's up. How'd you do? Good discussion? Yes? I hope so. So listen, let me tell you one thing, and then we're going to get some feedback from the different various rooms and some feedback from this room. Have you share some of these insights that you got from this last 45 minutes. But here's what I want you to understand. Pay attention to this. Can you throw this up for me? On the Elmo? Conversations, Premier League, Travelers. It doesn't matter how good your plan is today. It just matters that you start. Because when you start, you begin this process of plan, do, review, make a better plan, do it, review it, make a better plan, do it, review it, and 12 months from today, you'll be perfect. Okay? You'll have conversations perfect in 12 months. You'll have Premier League perfect in 12 months. You'll have the Traveler program will be rocking, will be amazing in 12 months. So don't worry about how great it is in February. Just start in February and begin the process of polishing. But I want to encourage you, we set this up so you would spend 45 minutes with each other to discuss. And how valuable was it to just discuss? Just talk about it. Share ideas. You know, maybe shared some of your limiting beliefs or your fears or your doubts, and other people would encourage and bring some other feedback in. You hear from these different perspectives, different voices. I would encourage you to continue this when you leave. What's one of the most important things you could do? How big is the team that isn't in this room? Can you have a Zoom with them and have this discussion? Could you have everybody that's here in this room share what they learned from this event, and you pass this information down to the people who aren't in this room, so next time they are in this room, in any of these various countries? Yes? So think about how you can move this information forward. One of the best ways you can learn yourself is to teach. How many of you have ever been a teacher here in the room? Any teachers? Ever? Like official teachers? Look at how many teachers. Wow. Who learns more, the teacher or the student? The teacher learns more. The student hears it one time, the teacher hears it over and over and over again. So the faster you can teach conversations to your team, the more you get to keep it. The faster you can teach Premier League process and systems to your team. The faster you can teach the Traveler system to your team. Bring somebody with you. I would highly encourage you, every time you travel, bring someone with you. Someone who is willing, coachable, and hungry. Someone who wants to see what you do. Someone who wants to watch you work. Have them go with you. Go on a little adventure for 2 days. Right? Think about the gift you can give them. So we're going to go to different markets right now, and we're going to get some feedback from them, and we're going to start with Taiwan. So what I'd like, hi Taiwan, good to see you. We'd like you to share, I'm going to get my headsets on so I can listen. We're going to have you share some of your insights from this, and specifically on Premier League. So Premier League, share with everybody, introduce yourself please, and share with everybody what was your biggest takeaway from building a Premier League system.
I'm Megan Zheng from Taiwan. I'm a president member, and it's very honored to share our conversation about the HPL conversation. Okay, so first of all, we think we need to set a goal. Everyone needs to set a goal. When will we achieve the HPL? So, for example, if I want to achieve the goal in 6 months, then I need to set a goal for every month. How many distributors I need to sign up for every month, and how many distributors, then how many months I should sign up for one supervisor. So if I want to qualify for 6 months, that means every month I need to sign up 2 distributors, and 3 months, 1 supervisor. That's the first thing. So next is we need to create a focus group who want to achieve the HPL. So when I set the group, then we will say how many months we want to achieve our goal. Then we will take action. Before action, we need to say everyone should watch the video on the Herbalife website every week. We need to watch the Eric Worre's video. Then finish the assignment. And we take 100 action. We call million action. The million action means every month we will put into the focus group. The focus group, we will spend 30 minutes to send 100 conversation. And after we send 100 conversation, then after that, we will share our experience, how to achieve the every goal and the Q&A. So then we will share the process and the result in the live group. So everyone share the process and the result, then will inspire someone else who didn't achieve their goal. Then we will hold a contest. We will see who will be the first one, who will be the second one to achieve their goal every month and every week. Then we will recognize HPL winner every week. So we will say who achieved the 1 distributor this week, 2 distributor already, 3 already, 5 already. So we will cheer up everyone, then recognize everyone who achieved their goal. That's our plan. Thank you.
That's excellent. Give them a round of applause. Well done. Well done. I will just give a few comments to this. One is, here's what I heard from that. Set your goal, create a game plan, and then reward the steps along the way, which is a great process. Here's one thing that I would tell you that I would recommend that you do around Premier League. Interview every single person that qualifies Premier League on video. Go on Zoom, just the two of you, you interview them, and then post that on social media. Just interview them. How did you do it? What did you do? What happened? You could put that up on YouTube, let somebody else watch the video to find out how they did it. Okay? So if you interview them and they get some prestige, yes, it'll cause other people to take action because they'll want to have their moment of being recognized. Okay? So think about adding some prestige in there. And also, for 2025, think about adding some speed. Yes, I see it. Think about adding some speed. And what I mean by that is, who's the fastest to get to Premier League in 2025? Okay? And then once the fastest on the team has been 10 weeks, then tell everybody who's trying to get there, the record is 10 weeks. Can you do it in less? Because some people want to be the fastest on the team. I want to get it in 9 weeks. I wanted to get it in 8 weeks. I want to get it in 7 weeks. Right? So give people that goal to be able to try and be the fastest if they can. And if they don't, it's no problem so long as they get there. All right? So think about all these little things that you can add in order to be able to tighten up your systems. Yeah? So those are a couple different recommendations. For Thailand, we're going to go to Thailand and they're going to share how their feedback on the conversation challenge. So let's go to Thailand.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlotte from Millennium Team Plus from Thailand. Okay. Okay. Thank you for systematizing the conversation in our organizations. We approach the conversation by breaking it into manageable steps and conversation topics. So we will identify who we talk promotions, who we talk Premier Leagues, who we plan to traveling to visit. So first, we identify the target audience, whether they are prospect. If prospect, we will talk about bonus evaluation. For PCP, we talk promotion. For member, we talk about HON. For active member, we talk about Premier League. For new coach, we talk about traveling to visit them. And for existing coach, we talk about traveling. And customer who stop using the product, we will talk about PCP. Then we use the structure tools like the conversation scripts in different situations to ensure that we keep the early interaction. And then when we do it, we scale up. To scale up, we train our team to use a standard approach. At the same time, we allow them personalization to build authentic relationship. Okay, for the process, we start with setting value target for conversations. Target is 100 messages per day. I encourage myself and other team to maintain a proactive mindset by using a combination of chat and phone calls networks, such as social media, Line chat, Messenger, Telegram, and follow-up phone calls. Okay. Each conversation will categorize into following stage: initial outreach, engagement, and conversion. These will help us streamline the flow and understand where each contact stands in the process. For tracking and sharing the results, to track the results, we use the Google Sheet or CRM system where the team can log key metrics such as the number of conversation, responses, and conversion on the daily basis. We make sure that we get some revenue out of this. For sharing the results is to maintaining motivation. We conduct the weekly team meeting to review the progress and share success stories and address the challenge. This session also serves as a platform for exchanging strategy and inspiring each other to make Thailand have more Premier League. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I didn't really understand very much of that. That was difficult just because we had some technical challenges on our side. Did you? Did you understand? I don't know how the translators dealt with it because it was very difficult. And it's not your fault, my friends in Thailand. Just the audio from the microphone was difficult through here. You probably could hear fine on your side. I was hearing little bits and pieces, but it was a little bit challenged on our side just to be able to hear because of the mic. But thank you. I'm sure it was amazing. My friend.
Good. Hey, that's good.
Yeah, I really tried. I was trying to read lips and everything. It was difficult. Yeah. So, thank you for that, though. I mean, he looked very sincere in trying to share all of that. So, thank you for doing it. Really, really, truly. So we're going to go to the Philippines and hope that the audio connection's a little bit better to the Philippines, and that we're also going to talk about the conversation challenge and some of your feedback from the Philippines. So let's go there now. Wow, same.
Let me give insights from our group regarding conversation challenge. First, since all of us or most of us already have existing Saturday events like our HOMs and distributors training, first thing we will do is to incorporate the conversation challenge as part of our skills development training to first develop the basic skills including the conversation challenge. Second, to create a standardized script as to provide a guide for those who are new in the business as to how to respond to possible conversations later on. And then third is to set a specific time of the day, probably via Zoom or via face-to-face, where a certain group of distributors can gather all together to do the conversation challenge at the same time. And through our group chat, we will share actual screenshots of our actual conversations to provide guidance to the distributors.
I-move ko lang to. Medyo nag-echo.
Yeah, through a private group chat, we will share actual screenshots of actual conversations to provide guidance to distributors. And we will monitor the results through daily gauge sheet and reporting, and to recognize at the end of the week whoever actually converted an actual conversation to an actual retail or an actual recruit. And we'll recognize that the distributor the most number of retail or recruit for that week.
Excellent. Better. I could kind of figure it out. Thank you very much. Here's the thing. Like I said before, with all of these, what he's sharing, what you've shared at each one of your tables, what's important is that you start. Start. It's in the doing. It's in the doing. It's in the doing. And then you have something to review and polish and make better, make it more simple. What worked? What was a good idea that didn't work? You know, what did you think was going to work, but people didn't really do it? Oh, okay. We got to make it a little bit more simple. We have to make it a little less scary. You know, sometimes we set systems based upon what we're willing to do. And we're willing to do we're willing to face fears that other people aren't willing to do. So sometimes you have to make it simpler, easier, nicer, kinder for the average person on your team in order to be able to do. So just pay attention to the simplicity of everything that you're doing. All right, we're going to go to Hong Kong, and they're going to share their strategies on the Traveler Challenge. So let's go to Hong Kong. Hey, hey.
Hi, Eric. Hi, everyone in Asia Pacific. I'm Catherine. I'm 15K Executive President's team from Hong Kong. And I'm going to share about the travel challenge. Actually, this is a very new thing, but for me, I have my team in Macau. I have a downline in Singapore, and I have some downlines in other countries. So I have very little experience, but after the inspiration today, I have much takeaway. Because if we really want to start the travel challenge, I think it's better to start from the 100 conversation. So if we set up a 100 conversation system in our team, or for myself, it's like our weekly meeting. And then during that weekly meeting, we can ask our friends, our customers, and see whether they have friends in other countries. Who knows? Who do you know in the other countries? Maybe the further conversation is like, because we will have a 14-country big event in Hong Kong later in May. So I would like to know whether you have any friends in the other countries. So I just want to make friends with them. And then we will try to find out if there is any customers in the other countries. I'm sure being TAP team members in Hong Kong and I think in the other countries, we might have some customers who are Malaysian. We might have customers who are in Cambodia. Actually, we have in my organization, they just talk about they have friends in Cambodia. One of my world team, her husband is going to Cambodia every month, actually every week. So this is also another chance for us to talk about, learn about and if we can have other customers in the other countries. And after that, we will check the events and whether there is any STS in those countries. And when we find that out, and when we try to find out those persons, those people in the 100 conversation in January, so we can set a plan in February, see whether we can invite those people to the spectacular if we have spectacular in those countries in February. And then we will spend a weekend. We will spend a weekend only Saturday and Sunday. We can fly there, and then we can bring those people to the event if there is any event. And if not, we can bring those people to visit an nutrition club. And finally, we will invite those customer or people to sit down and do presentation and help them to set up their list. Who do they know in that country? And after that, set up a system Zoom meeting and help them to do 100 conversation. And after that, of course, our ultimate goal is February, March, April, help them to make a decision to come to the Hong Kong extravaganza.
It was a good place to close. Well, I think we lost the connection. We're good? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will do that after Japan. What she said was excellent. And here's what I will tell you. There, thank you. You cut off, but thank you so much. You did a great job. Well done. Here's what I will tell you. You can be an ambassador for your team to open up new markets. And here's what I mean by that. If you as a leader are going, let's say you're here and you're going to go to Singapore, or you're going to go to Vietnam, or you're going to go to Hong Kong, okay? And you're going to spend 2 days. Yeah? You can tell everybody on your team, who do you know? 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 Go ask everybody who they know. And then invite those people to your presentation that you're going to do with that one group in that country, in that market. You understand what I'm saying? And then from there, some of those people are going to sign up. And when they do, now your people have somebody to go visit. See what I mean? So pretty soon, somebody from your team is going to be going to that market every single month. Different pockets, different clubs, different leaders are going to be going in there. And then every once in a while, you can do a whole weekend if you want and have everybody from your team come together. 100 people, 200 people. You do your own team training. You don't need to wait for a spectacular. You don't need to wait for some corporate design thing. Just find a room that holds 100 people and have everybody from your team invite people into that room. Those of you big leaders, Chairman's Club and stuff, that's what you used to do, remember? Remember how many times you did that? Before the company was really supporting that market, you made it happen. And I'm just asking you to make it happen again. When you all do this together, listen, APAC is going to be the fastest growing market in the world of Herbalife 90 days from today. February, March, April, just from these initiatives. If you're all in, if you decide February, March, April, I'm doing it. And everybody on my team is full-time, they're going to do it. And I'm going to bring somebody with me every time I travel, and I'm going to encourage people to keep these conversations topped up. And I'm going to be cranking out Premier League as we go. We're going to smash. We're not going to wait for momentum. We're going to wait for the perfect scenario. We're going to go get it, okay? All right, we're going to go to Japan. They're also going to talk about the Traveler's Challenge. And hello, Japan.
Hello, good to see you, Eric. Good to see you. Thank you for coming to Herbalife and invitation to Las Vegas. Oh, I'm Yoshika Tada. Please call me Yoda, my nickname. I'm One Diamond President Team Japan.
Hey,
Hi.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Oh, about Travel Challenge. My organization is good of traveling. And myself also travel 2 nights per month. But the improved point is to clarify the objective and review. So we will make a list of destinations with priority. Start from those who made commitment for Premier League, Conversation Challenge. Also make sure about the objective and establish the next action plan with them. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas.
Yes, I can't wait. I was just in Japan a few days ago. I was in Niseko, Japan. It was amazing. But anyway, I can't wait to have you in Las Vegas. I can't wait to see you at my home. Please go out and crush it between now and that event, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Japan is on the rise. It's going to be a huge, huge market for Herbalife. Thank you for your hard work there, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, we're going to choose one from here. Who would like to share? Whose table was the best table? Who had the best table in the room? Nobody who's proud of their table? Anybody proud here in the room that wants to share? Anyone? Come on. Here you go. Perfect. Here's Mike. Yeah, why not?
Stand up, please. Stand up.
Tell me what you learned from this table on any topic you'd like.
발표 제가 당첨될지 모르고 준비를 안 했는데.
I didn't know I would be picked, so I wasn't really prepared. Among our discussions,
에리고에게서 저희 회사랑 함께 해주신 지가 작년부터 이렇게 계속 요구하는 게
Eric's been with us since last year, and you've been asking us quite similar things, and many people still are not putting it into action, and which is unfortunate. I'm so nervous. I think I just went blank. I'm sorry. I usually am. I'm more well-spoken than this usually. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous. Yeah, I'll try to speak slowly. I was listening to other coaches, and that inspired me. No, not that.
심플 이지 펀인데 왜 이렇게 복잡한 거지? 거친 내가
Herbalife is simple,
느껴도
easy, fun,
아이디어입니다.
and I
발표라라고
don't
하니까
want to make
지어짜가지고
it
솔직히
more
말하긴 하는데
complicated.
이거를 계속 제가 말하면서도 내가
And
이거를
so
나답지 않고 나랑 다른
as I'm
다수의 그
speaking,
다른 분들한테 이거를
I'm
프레젠테이션
trying
했을
to
때
make it
이분들이
too
알아먹을까?
complicated
아까
myself.
저쪽에서 시킨 그
And
5년 안에 70%의 그거를
I
막
am
이해시키셨는데
really,
여기서 저기 가는데도 이렇게 전달이 안 되는데
you
내가
know,
과연 이거를 내 파트너들한테 얼마나 심플하게
before
전달할지
we did people
제가 여기서
the
꼭 그런
whispering,
거를
and
이제
people
제
got
몫인 거죠.
really
연구를 좀 더 많이 해봐야겠다.
as
그래서
we relay the
더
words,
심플하게
it became very
한 장에 이렇게
distorted,
저는
and so it
목표가
should be
저는
more.
앞에 뭐 다른
I
타국에서도
realized that
막
we
이렇게
have to make it
말씀해 주셨는데
simpler, because if it's
통역으로
a little bit
들으면서도
complicated,
나만
it
그런가? 나는 좀
gets
너무
distorted.
복잡한데
I
한
was
장에
listening
1분 계속 저는
to other
그렇게 한 장에
people
1분 얘가 한 장에 1분 정도면
presenting
그래도
from other
집중이 되지 내
countries,
말에
and
코치가 될건
it
파트너가
seems to
될건
me a
고객
little bit
만나는
complicated.
뭐 내킨
So I
뭐
wanted to put
그런
everything into
그런
a one
것처럼
piece of
프레젠테이션처럼
and so
그렇게
that
좀
if it's simple
해봐야겠다.
enough,
좀
people
이런
will
많은
be able to
생각을
understand.
하게
That
됐습니다.
was my takeaway, that
토론을
to
통해서
make it
배운 게
simple.
뭐 이런 죄송합니다.
So that
Thank
was
you
my
so
takeaway.
much.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
No, you did
give
great.
you more explanation. I'm sorry.
Here's the point. Anytime you start, we asked you to talk about 3 systems. That's already complicated. 3. If we asked you to work on 1 for 45 minutes, it would have been fine. But we asked you to do 3. That's complicated, yeah? So your first notes are going to be heavy. Going to be too many steps, too many things, too many words, right? That's where you're starting. But it's okay. Get it on paper and then start. And go, okay, that was too much. We got to what can we take out? It's 7 steps now. Can we make it 5 steps? Oh, it's 5 steps now. Can we make it 3 steps? What can we do? Can we just give people an assignment and we do it with them? So we take away their stress and their drama. You know what I mean? So if you sit down with somebody and you do a conversation challenge with them, it takes away their fear. If you tell them to go do it, they're not going to do it. If you do it with them, they can have fun and do it. So if somebody's afraid to travel, you say, travel with me at the first time. Tell, show, try, do. I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to show you. You watch. Then you're going to try it. I'll be there to support, and eventually you'll do it on your own. But until you're confident to travel on your own, travel with me. Every one of you should not travel alone. You should travel with somebody on your team. As a teaching tool, as an inspiration tool. Take somebody who is willing, coachable, and hungry, have them go with you. Have them learn from your experience, right? That's a way to be able, instead of telling them to do it, some of them are going to be too scared to do it. Okay. But if you see potential in them, bring them along, mentor them, right? So instead of any time you can tell them, you can show them, and they can try it while you watch, it will get the process. If you just tell them, go do it, a lot of people are going to stop. So you have to have a process to go from dependence to independence. To go from dependence to independence. And that process is mentoring, guiding, coaching, then they're doing it. And then once they're doing it, plan to review, polish it, make it simpler, make it better. I will tell you, if you all do this in February, you're going to get a result. And at the end of February, you can review together as a group what worked, what didn't work, what could we do better, how can we be more efficient, how can we get more people involved, how can we recognize people's achievements, how do we train people so they're more prepared, what materials should you bring along with you in order to be able to make it more productive? Should you have somebody following you with a video camera to document your trip? And you can play it for everybody else as an inspiration tool. Should you do that? Probably. It's easy to do now. You can do it with your own phone. You know, or do you just videotape the whole thing yourself and have somebody edit it and put it together for you? You probably, a few dollars. Doesn't cost much, right? And then you're going to take all of that knowledge and wisdom and experience and results, and you're going to inspire more people to do it in March, and it's going to be better. It's going to be tighter. And then at the end of March, you're going to review again. Okay, what worked? What didn't? Who's excited? Who wants to do more than just 2 days? Who wants to do 4 days? All right. We plan. Do we list the cities now? Do we list all the locations? Do we list every place you're going to do a meeting? Do we create recognition for everybody who traveled? Do we come up with a traveler pin for every single person that's in the traveler team? Do you come up with something, right? Do you host a party just for the travelers, right? Maybe, maybe not. In April, you do it again. By the end of April, it's going to be pretty tight. Just 3 times. February, March, April. By the time you get to May 1st, I promise you, if you will engage in these 3 systems, conversation system, Premier League system, and traveler system. Just these 3. There's more that we'll add as we move forward. But if we get these going, I promise you, your organization is going to be growing. And when it's growing, it's easy to motivate. It's easy to inspire. People's checks are going up. People are excited. There's new lines of sponsorship. There's new leaders coming up. There's new president's team joining the ranks of the president's team. People are leveling up as it goes. And it gets easier to build momentum. And we'll create that leadership gap. And then we will start developing the leadership underneath. So we're prepared for the next big wave. Yes. And before I bring Stefan back up here, I just want to tell you one thing as I wrap. I fly back to Las Vegas tonight, and I'm just getting the house ready for when you come and you visit. I can't wait till you come to my home, and I'm looking forward to having a party with you and see you at our studio. It's going to be a great time. But I take you back to the first time I sat down with Michael Johnson and Stefan in December of last year, I think it was. Or was it November? November or December? Something like that. And Michael Johnson said, tell me what you see when you look at Herbalife. And I said, I see 20 billion. As clear as day. $20 billion as a company, as the next step. Not as the final destination, but as the next step. And I see if this group comes together and locks arms on a few simple things and shakes away the negative and limiting beliefs in their mind, all the pain and all the trouble and all the drama and all the ups and downs and all the people coming and going into retirement and some people leaving and, people taking pot shots at the company. If you can let go of all that and say, I'm going to be the reason why the company grows in the future. The thing that and he said, I see the same thing, right? And when I understood Stefan's vision for building the ultimate health and wellness platform in the world and his dedication to that vision, I will tell you, the thing that has blown my mind in the last 12 months is understanding the scale, the absolute muscle that is available in this company. And the muscle is not the products, not the compensation plan. It's you. It's you. It's you as leaders. And there's 2 million of you in the world. And if you flex at the same time with simple things, this company can be in momentum just like that. Momentum. I want you to think about the time when things were growing the fastest. And just realize in less than 12 months, you can be experiencing the same thing or more. But in order to get there, you have to freshen your mind. You have to let go of all old stuff, the little hurts, the little drama. Leaders, big leaders, I need you to do it one more time. What you did to get here, I need you to do it one more time. Just show these kids. Show these kids what you did in order to be able to get here in the first place. Show them a vision of what a chairman and a founder really is. Show them that it's not about getting there and kicking back. It's about contribution and helping more people in the future. Show them. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Show them. And if you do, it's over, baby. Nobody's going to know what hit them. The whole network marketing profession is going to go, what happened? Where did Herbalife come from? We hadn't known that these guys had this kind of muscle, that these guys had this kind of strength, this kind of determination, this type of leadership. You can lead the entire profession. Show them what's possible. There's no reason why this company shouldn't be number one. And I mean fast. All you've got to do is make a decision and do it, okay? I hope you believe it as much as I believe it. It's the reason why I decided I've never had a relationship like this in 37 years. I've never agreed to a relationship this serious, this dedicated, this long term until you. And you convinced me to do something outrageous. And I'll tell you why. If you go back to Palm Springs, Mark Hughes, show Mark Hughes. I saw this picture, this right here, that picture, that little table of people decided to change the world in Palm Springs at the foundation of this company, okay? And I think that was a moment, but let me tell you what's another moment. The other moment is here, right here in this room. Each one of you. It's a new day one. That was a day one, and today is a new day one. So I want to challenge you to reach for the best within you. Be as strong as you've ever been in your life. The next 90 days are going to make the difference. I cannot wait to see you in Las Vegas, at Honors, and in Las Vegas, and at my home. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my honor. Stefan Graziani, come on up.
Give it up for Eric. Let's hear it. Okay. All right. How many of you, that vision that Eric just laid out, you can see it? You can see what's possible, right? Here's the number one question. Absolutely. How many of you know that that's going to happen because you are different? Because you know now what you need to focus on, because you have the key to make things happen. So, you know, this is a lot of individual leaders that can change everything. You know, one of the stories that I showed you when we were talking at the very beginning about growth and what's possible is you saw that there was one couple that they built a business in the United Kingdom just in the last 4 or 5 years, and they went from 50,000 organizational volume to 1.1 million organizational volume, and it was just one couple, only one couple, that took the responsibility, that figured out their model, that implemented the systems, that went to work, and they went from 50,000 organizational volume to 1.1 million. They went from a very small percentage of the business in the United Kingdom to 20% of the business in the United Kingdom in only 5 years. One couple. So when I look at this room in Korea, and we look at the room in Vietnam, and in Hong Kong, and Taiwan, and Thailand, and Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, the power of one. And you are the one. And this event has been for you. This mastermind is for you. And the reason why we've been giving so much content, and all of this content, is so that you can have the realizations, and you can understand what is holding you back, and you can understand where to focus so that you can make that difference for yourself. You get to be the one. And so we believe that this is the beginning of a new future for Herbalife and for you. We've never done anything like this. This event is ending now, shortly, but it is just the beginning. This type of relationship, this type of commitment, this type of peer group association, this type of accountability structure, we've never had this before in Herbalife. And this is something that obviously you can do now, benefit from, but also you can duplicate this also with your organization. Could you create a mastermind leaving here with all of your active world team, all of your world team? Could you create a mastermind? Could you start to give some of this content? Could it be part of how you develop the system and the leadership development, and you start to close the leadership gap with your team? Could you do it? Yeah, there's no question. So there's a ton of possibilities, and the last 2 days has been a lot. We've given you a lot. And so before you leave, I just want to talk about a couple of things, and then we're going to go through what the next steps are. But number one, don't wait until everything is perfect to be in action. I know we are talking about implementing systems and a traveler, system and a Premier League system, and we're talking about DMOs and business flows, and we're giving a lot of information. Don't fall in the trap of waiting until everything is perfect to be in action. Because some of it you're going to need to learn by being in action, by following through and doing it. Don't wait for the perfect situation. Some of you like to wait, and you don't feel comfortable being in a process where you're not sure about what's going to happen. So you want to get comfortable with starting things without being sure. Eric talks about this in the future. 50% of your business should be outside of where you're working, right? Could be outside of your country. It could also be outside of your city. Some of you, when you hear the traveler program and you think 3 hours or, a plane, you say, well, I don't have organization 3 hours away. I don't have organization in another country. You don't have to wait to have organization 3 hours in another country. You can go 30 minutes and spend a day with one of your distributors. You don't have to go further if you don't have someone further. And you don't have to worry about trying to do something. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, you start where you are and you develop things into the future, where you want to be. By the way, one of the things with international business, it used to be very complicated for us to do international business. Much of and I'm looking here at Armertot. I don't know if you've seen Armertot. By the way, you want to talk about where's Australia, New Zealand? He was there earlier. I was watching him. So you remember when I was talking about it's not about age, it's about energy. And so I don't know if you saw him on here. For those of you that know him, where's Armertot? Is he there? He's at the bottom, but I don't see him. Maybe he went off screen now. But Armertot is 80 years old. He's been on, and it's 3 a.m. in New York right now. And he's been on 2 days with us, all through the night, listening and learning and bringing the energy. Armertot was one of the first Chairman's Club to qualify Premier League. And he has this young adult energy. It's not about the age, okay? It's about the energy and the focus. And so don't worry about doing everything perfect. Do what you can do, okay? Be in action. That is the most important thing. And, the conversation around fun, simple, and magical. So we're going to have this conversation, okay? So what makes something simple? What makes something simple is that it's not complicated, right? And that it's easy to do. That's what makes something simple. But let me ask you something. For someone that is a concert pianist, is it simple what they do? Yes, it's simple what they do. But if you've never played piano before, is it simple to play piano? It's not simple to play piano. You need to learn how to play piano. But for the concert pianist that has understood and spent hours and tens of thousands of hours playing, for them it's very simple. And so for us, having the business be simple, it's not about having it just be easy 1, 2, 3. It's about having systems that are documented that make it easy to follow so it can be simple. And that's why it's important to have systems. Not because everything needs to be done in 3 steps and everything has to be super simple. Many of you have nutrition clubs. It's not simple to do nutrition clubs, but you learned how to do it, and if you have systems teaching that show duplication and how to do it, and it's very 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, and it doesn't leave a lot for the imagination to have to figure out by yourself, then it can be simple. So don't look for things to be easier, okay? Look to put in good systems so that people can follow the system. And then when they follow the system and they learn the system, it becomes simple for them, right? So this is some of the things to look out for. So we want the simple, but you have to put in the systems for that. Everybody wants the fun. Let me tell you what's fun. What's fun is when what you're doing is working. That's what's fun. When you are going and you're doing the work and you're getting the result. That's fun. What's not fun is working and not getting a result. That's not fun, okay? And remember the magic, so the fun, the simple, and the magic is when things are working even better than you thought. And things are growing even, crazier than you thought they would. That's the magic part. The magic part is when it feels like everything is going and everything is flowing and it's beating your expectations, okay, of how you thought things were going to go. When the GET team are qualifying, when the millionaire team are qualifying, when the new president team are qualifying, when you go to the event and there's twice as many people this year than there was last year, and there's even more people, that's when it's magical. But you don't get the magic without doing the work, okay? So this is about, as a group of leaders, learning the things that you need to learn, being supported, implementing the things that you need to implement, leveraging, like Eric started off, the collective knowledge, the accountability, the support on this journey. So this is not a 1-month program. This was today the beginning of a program that has no end. Because in Herbalife, there is no end. There's no limit to where you can go. There's no time that you have to, do to get there. This is just a journey that you're on, okay? So I wanted to share that because I want to make sure that you don't get paralyzed by so much information. I need to do things good. I'm not really comfortable before, it's all done and I understand and I don't want to move forward. Right? How many of you were feeling a little bit like that, right? Like it's a lot. Oh my gosh, we learned so much. There's so many things to do. Don't worry about it. Be in action. Okay? That's the most critical and the most key thing. All right. So before we go, I want to talk just about one thing. And then we're going to go through a kind of a list of things as we're going to end up here. I think one of the things that is very powerful is gratitude. And I think one of the things that happens with people sometimes is they become very, when things are not going good, we become kind of focused on ourselves, on our situation, and we turn inside. And we think about us, and we think about our situation. We think about what's happening with our organizations, or the impact, if our business is not going great, on us. But what ends up happening when you actually turn to the outside, you realize that actually there's a lot of things to be grateful for. And I don't know if you've been watching the news, but in Los Angeles, about a week ago, no one could have imagined what would happen in 1 week's time. And so I know most of you, and we didn't talk about it, earlier because we wanted to make sure that this content, was going to be something that could be evergreen and people could watch. But, last week in Los Angeles, on Monday, we started to have, like they have in Los Angeles, kind of on a yearly basis in some areas, some fires that started. And if you've been watching closely, there has been just a humongous impact of these fires. Now there's 6 fires in Los Angeles. There are thousands of people, and I don't know what the number is, 6,000-7,000 people now that have lost their homes. There's entire neighborhoods that have just been destroyed. The homes people lived in, the schools where they went, the places where they, the coffee shops and the restaurants and the, just entirely gone. And, it's kind of incredible to think about because in a very short amount of time, life can change in a very dramatic way and for a lot of people. And we've seen this at different times in different places, whether it's war sometimes, whether it's earthquakes or tsunamis or fires or hurricanes or different things that happen. And so one of the things in those moments that there's a dramatic amount of tragedy. At the same time also what happens is that there's a way that humanity starts to show up. And it's almost like to have the best of humanity sometimes, you have to have almost tragedy sometimes. And so the question is, why does the best of humanity show up when it's difficult situations? When there's extreme tragedy and difficulty, that's when people have a tendency to show up and to support and come together and to think about not their situation, their individual situation, but to think about the greater good or the greater situation, okay? So I share this with you because no matter what your situation is, no matter where your business is today, I want you to think about the fact that you can come home tonight and you have a place to come home to. And that there are people, families with children, people that have jobs, people that are not going to have a place to come home to. And not just one family, but 5, 6, 7,000 families. And that these parents will not have a place to put their kids to school so that they can go and get a job. And so all of a sudden, all of these people are going to have to find some place to live, change their lives, move out of the city that they've lived in, go somewhere else. And so I share this with you because sometimes we are so focused on ourselves that we don't feel grateful for the situation. But in this room and in Herbalife, we have a tremendous amount of things to be grateful for. We have this opportunity, we have these products, we have each other. We have a company committed to doing the absolute best that thinks 24/7 about its distributors, about the opportunity, that's willing to do everything to support and to make sure that you have the best opportunity in the world for yourselves and for the future. And so as you go through and you start to implement some of these things and you start to go back to work and you start to do things that are not easy, I just want you to think about those things, that you really have it all. You have everything that you need to go out and to build incredible businesses and to impact people's lives and to achieve amazing things for your life. And some of you, when you walked into this event 2 days ago, you walked in with a different reality. The reality that things are not easy, the economy's not easy, whatever you were saying about the company, whatever you were saying about your organization, whatever you were saying about yourself, and the way you look to the future, hopefully, is very different than the way you look to the future now. Because now you know that your future is in your hands. And even if there is not the perfect circumstances, and don't wait for them, okay? But you have everything inside of yourselves to make it happen. There's no reason why the dreams and the goals that you have are not going to come true and not going to happen. Okay, so I want to leave you with that, and I want you to remember that. And you're going to have a lot of opportunity because we are going to be coming back together on a regular basis. So in February, there will be another session that you have a chance to come together, and it will be virtual, okay? But you're going to have another opportunity to come back together and to find ourselves, to find yourselves with this community, right? With this mastermind, all right? And to be able to be supported on your education, on implementation, okay? On the things that you need on your journey to become what and who you want to become in the future, okay? So this is important. We have something that is going to be given out. Umbi, do you want to get the, is it here somewhere? Yeah. So let me show you this, and then we're going to tell you what is happening. So by the way, today, thank you very much. Today it's been just, oh, you're singing already. Okay. So today it's been just the charter pioneers that are here. Okay, so by the way, how many of you becoming Herbalife Premier League by November was the best thing that you ever could have done in your Herbalife business to be here in this room with us for the last 2 days? How many of you feel that way? Yeah, very good. So you see, sometimes you do the work and then you get the magic. The last 2 days has been the magic. But we want to leave you also with something that's very special that you're going to have, yeah, that you're going to be able to put. So when you guys leave today, so this is going to be a reminder. So as you leave, exciting, right? Yeah. So as you leave here today, you're going to pick up outside, and in your room, outside of the rooms, you're each going to have your plaque that you're going to be able to take. This is, you are the first, okay? This, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, people will talk about that very first Palm Springs, right, that Eric was referring to. You guys are going to have this as a memento when you leave a little bit later. So make sure on your way out that you pick up your plaque, okay? So let's talk about last things, and then we're going to let you go and start building your future business, all right? Okay. So again, within the next few days, all of you that are here and have been here for the 2 days, okay, so all of the pioneers, you are going to be put into your accountability groups over the next couple of days. So you're going to receive a message, you're going to be put into your groups. It might be WhatsApp, it might be Line, it might be Telegram, it might be Kakao, it might be depending on what your country is using, but you're going to be put into your groups. Those groups will be the main place where you're going to get information. Okay, so this is a new way of working with the company. There will be an account manager, okay, someone from the company that will be in each and every one of the groups. Now, this is not your personal concierge to the company, just so you know. Okay, so you're going to have what you would recognize as a regional, we call them a key account manager. They're going to be in these groups. They're going to be giving information, showing you and telling you when things are going to be happening. But they are not a source of it's not ChatGPT. Okay? So you don't need to ask them all of the details about when is the qualification, I have this order, I have this distributor, this is there, can you help me with this? This is not your personal, key account manager, ChatGPT, answer all of the questions. They are there because there's going to be 200 groups that they're going to have to manage in the region, okay? So you're there for when they're asking or giving information to get the information, but don't use it as a, asking all of questions and things that don't have to do with things that are, going on in the program. All right, so that's the first thing. You're going to get the assignments. The assignments we talked about. It's finish the 100 conversations, if you have not finished the 100 conversations. It's also to systemize, if you haven't done it, and implement. Systemize and implement, meaning that not only you create it, but let's put it into play, okay? This work needs to be done, 24-month specific goals. You share them in your accountability group. So you put down your goals in the accountability group. I'm going to do this. I am this. I will this. You share them in the group. Part of being in the group, by the way, is the group is also an opportunity for some coaching. So if someone puts their goals in the group and they say, I hope if I work really hard and I try and everything goes good, that I will be maybe, hopefully, millionaire team member by Extravaganza 2026, then part of your responsibility as a peer is to say, oh, that's very good, but the way that you're saying it is not I will be or I am. So don't be afraid to give some coaching and support to each other, because it's important to start identifying the way people are talking about when they're talking about their goals. And so that's part of the group. That's part of the value of the group. Don't be shy in the group. Be supportive in the group. Be open in the group. Be sharing in the group. That's why the groups are designed the way they're designed. Okay. We will be posting bonus content. Some of the content may be a link to a video that's going to be in the group. You will also have a website that you will log into, which will have the recording from the last 2 days. Homework will be there. The bonus content will be there. There will be one centralized place where you will have all the information, okay? You're going to find out about that when you get into your groups. The homework needs to be completed by February 14th, okay? So everything that you need to do, the QR code that you saw yesterday, you'll have that also access to that. That's where you're going to fill out the fact that you've done your homework. It's important to know that when you complete the homework individually, you will get points. So you're going to have 100 points if you complete the homework. If you only do 2 out of 3, you only get 200 points. Your team, all of the players on the team, they also have a team points. So not only is there individual rank, but there's also team rank. So you want to support your team to complete all of the homework so you can come in and you can have the best score possible for yourself and for your team. The next session is going to be in February. Okay, so we are January 12th today. February, towards the end of February, we will have our next session. Okay, so before we come together in honors, you're going to have the information for that. The date is not fixed yet. It will be after the homework on the 14th. Okay, so it'll be after everything is there. I'm going to put up a QR code now. This is for a survey about feedback. So we want to know what you liked about the event. There's going to be some questions. You can fill out the questions. This is part of the review. Okay, so when Eric talks about do, right? We're doing, then we're going to review. Okay, so we're going to get your feedback, know what you like, know what we need to improve. Also, part of the accountability groups, just so you guys know, is imagine everyone in this room, and I'll just give the example of Korea, okay, that all of you are in accountability groups. We are going to have the feedback individually from everyone in the room. So can you understand that as a company, when we know what all of you think, not just what the president team think, right? Not just but what every single one of you think when we're asking you to fill out a survey, and when we're monitoring the conversations, and when we give you content and then you have questions about it, we have all the information. So we know exactly in real time what you need. We have the feedback directly. You've never had a situation like this before, where all of your feedback, every single one of you, the company gets the feedback directly. We have a direct source to the feedback so that we can work fast to give you what you need. Okay, so this is a new operating way, a new operating model of the company. In the future, and even now, okay, all of that feedback, AI will be listening to the feedback. AI will be able to say, this is what is needed. This is what they're dealing with. This is what would be helpful. This is the kind of tool they need. So you have to understand it's a very powerful way for the beginning right now, but in the future what's possible is going to be incredible, okay? One other thing I forgot to mention, when it comes to international business, how many of you believe that in the near future you will be able to be on Zoom and you will be able to be speaking Korean on the Zoom, and someone in Japan will have the translation in Japanese as you're talking to them. How many of you believe that's going to be in the future? Yeah. So there's going to be things that are going to create possibilities that you've never had before in the past, okay? So technology, the world is changing, the way we work is changing, okay? So once you've done the survey, please do the survey because we want everyone's feedback for this. So, for myself, Eric is off to Las Vegas so he can clean the house and get it ready for the party, okay? Marina said yes, he's going to do all the work by himself. Eric likes to clean the house and prepare everything himself. I'm off to Atlanta with the connection to South Carolina tomorrow and then back to Florida tomorrow night. But I can tell you this is a very special opportunity for us. You know, for someone that was a distributor for 32 years, who now has an opportunity to take care of all distributors and to think about all the distributors and to work with an incredible team of people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And to work with an incredible team of people. You know, as leaders, and especially the Chairman's Club and Founder Circle, you know, we are in meetings very often with the company, talking about strategy, talking about, you know, the vision of the future, talking about what needs to be done so that we can grow this incredible company. So to work as a Chairman's Club and Founder Circle for many years with a lot of these incredible leaders in the company, it was always an amazing thing. But I didn't know that when I was going to come into the company, how special things were. And so what I can tell you is that as incredible it is, you know, in the partnership that the distributors have, it's really magical inside of the company. The energy, the focus, you know, I can tell you, and I'm just, you know, looking here at the table, but we made some changes this last year in the company. And what we really started to do was start to think about, like, what is the dream team? Like, who do we need to put where, and who's the best fit, and who can make the biggest impact? And, you know, it was pretty amazing. It wasn't easy because some people, they were midlife. And some people, you know, they were in the company, but, you know, they didn't have the energy of the young adult energy. And they were not maybe in the prime, okay? And, you know, part of even Herbalife, because by the way, every company also has a life cycle. So when we look at the company and we ask ourselves, are we young adults? Are we ready to go out and to build? Or were we a little bit middle-aged? You know, our technology, was the technology a little bit middle-aged for Herbalife? Some of you say maybe like more institutionalization, right? Institutionalized, right? Right? You know, you can say are the products, you know, prime, is the technology, is the opportunity, is the training, are all of these things. So we are all about bringing back the energy of the young adult. We are all about bringing back this vision of the future and the 20 billion that Eric talks about, that really is this future that we have together. So for myself, it's an honor to be here. It's been great to share this weekend with you. God bless you all, and let's go make it happen. We'll see you in Las Vegas, for those of you that are going to be in Vegas. Thank you very much.